Right. Thank you again, Vladimir. Very, very insightful stuff. Yeah, super exciting to see what we can do in the sports world, football clubs, athletes, how you can get them some NFTs, and yeah, reward the fans. I think that's sort of also what we're going to go into in this next talk. Why should you maybe not have NFTs as a sports club or as an athlete? What are some reasons why it might be less impactful or less helpful, and do fans really actually care about crypto and NFTs? Is this something that they're interested in, or do they just want to go to the games, drink some beer with their friends, and hang out? You know, we'll see what happens in that side of things. But Tim does some incredible work helping clubs figure out why should they launch NFTs, how to launch NFTs, what's the best way to go about it, how do you market it, and yeah, making it so people actually care about them when they get them, when they have them, what do they do with them, and interact with the club in different ways and different athletes. So yeah, with that, I'll give it over to Tim Mengnal of Capital Sports Media. Yeah, hype it up. Let's go.
Hi, so I'm Tim Magnol from Capital Block, not actually Capital Sports Media, but we are a NFT consulting agency. So we work with some of the largest football clubs all over Europe, Galatasaray, AS Monaco, and I'm going to talk to you today about why football clubs should not launch NFTs in sport. So a bit of a weird topic at a crypto NFT conference. But we've been working with clubs for the last 3 years now, and we try and go through certain steps with football clubs to identify if they should, but also why they shouldn't. And the first problem with football fans and NFTs is actually no one cares. Yes, everyone loves NFTs in this conference and within the crypto world, but when you come out of the crypto world and you look at your average sports fan, they really aren't that interested. And the reason they're not that interested is because all they're hearing from the mainstream press is that a monkey will make you a millionaire overnight, or that you're going to lose all your money and it's going to be a scam. And this is the narrative that is obviously coming from mainstream press every single day, and that these traditional sports fans are engaging in. They're not engaging in the Web3 community, they're not engaging in Telegram, they're not engaging in Discord. So when you look at your football fans, they're just reading and hearing what everyone's talking about, and the club are not speaking to them in any type of way to educate them. So let's look at the numbers. Let's try and see if football fans are engaging in it. So there's 178 football clubs across Europe, mainstream football clubs in the top leagues across 6 countries. And the total number of NFTs sold was 17,571 across those 7 clubs. Now, when you then deep dive into that number even more, 9,000 of those NFTs was sold by Liverpool Football Club a month ago. So the numbers of NFTs are minimal, and these football fans are not engaging. And even when you look at a club like Liverpool, they were lambasted in the press for how their NFT drop went, because for some unknown reason, someone advised them that it would be a good idea to try and launch 171,000 NFTs, and that they were going to sell out on this and they were going to make 9 million. That was obviously never the case. And even then, they sold 9,000, which is more than any other football club has done in Europe. And still the press, still everyone, the fans went after them and then said, they only sold 5%, this is awful, this is rubbish. And so there's always going to be a negative stance from the mainstream press against these football clubs if you're going to start not taking proper advice. And when you then look at the numbers of fans across these 7 clubs, you're looking at 220 million fans. And I'm pretty sure no one in this room, maybe, but I'm pretty sure no one in this room knows really well or has a success story about any of these 7 clubs. And these are big clubs we're talking about. We're talking about Liverpool, we're talking about Man City, we're talking about big clubs in Germany. So it's not like they're small clubs, and 220 million fans around the world, and we've not heard of it. The next problem that we've got is the average age of a sports fan. The average age across Europe is 40. Let's say the average age of an NFT fan is 25. So there's only 15 years difference between these two age groups. But the way these two engage with media is wildly, wildly different. Your traditional sports fan is looking at your normal traditional media, engaging in the club's website, whereas your NFT fan is engaging in Telegram, is engaging in Discord. Yet the clubs haven't decided, right, I'm going to speak to this audience in a different way. And we know there's a younger demographic, there's a purchasing power that we've never seen before coming up. And this younger demographic that are involved in crypto, that are still sports fans, that have the power to really drive a huge amount of revenue into these clubs, are not being spoken to by these clubs. So you're just completely missing out on that new demographic. Am I ever going to change as a football club? Am I ever going to change Dave, who goes to the pub and drinks 5 pints before a game, into a crypto fan? Probably not. But I'm then not trying to harness that new audience that is coming up. So that's something that the football clubs are not doing. And the biggest issue for football clubs is misconception. The football clubs genuinely think that they're going to make $1 million, they're going to launch this NFT, and it's going to be perfect. All their financial problems are going to go out the window. I'll announce it, but then you say, well, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? And they have no answer. They genuinely don't know what they want to do. They just see dollar signs everywhere. And this is a massive misconception with every single club. And I actually think with every single sports organization, even with businesses as well. Everyone wants to jump on it, but then no one really realizes the work behind it of what you've got to do. The next issue is, I've just touched on, the fans. We did a survey where we saw that 90% of football fans across 7 clubs, 90% thought that it was either a cash grab or a scam. And none of these clubs are doing anything to change that narrative. The next issue is when we actually look at the numbers. In our company, Capital Block, we call it the Three Tenants. You look at a fan base, let's say your average fan, your average club has 1 million fans, and you take 10% of that know about NFTs. You take 10% of that then want to buy an NFT. And then you take 10% that actually buy it. They could be away, they could be out, they could be at a meeting, they could forget about it, whatever. So from your 1 million fan base, you're down to 1,000. And then the clubs think that it's going to change the world. They're going to be able to solve all of their debt issues that is rife across football. And then they start looking at this and going, okay. But they ignore these numbers. They just go after it. And this is a real problem for the fans. Because ultimately, when an NFT anywhere, from any company, any brand, any sports club, when an NFT drop is done badly, it's never the company that's really affected by it. It's us as consumers, it's us as fans. And this is something that is a really big problem within sports. But there is light at the end of the tunnel for football clubs. But only if they do certain things. At the bare minimum, I really don't care what else they do. Well, I do care, but as long as the bare minimum of this is done and taken into consideration, this isn't before they've even launched an NFT. This is what they have to consider before they then say yes. The first is education. Talk to your fans. You have millions of fans around the world that on social media, on your website, on wherever it may be. Talk to them. You talk to them about a kit launch. It's on every single channel. It's on every single social media channel. It's all over your website. You do TV adverts. You bring in celebrities. You want to sell this product. An NFT is exactly the same. It's a product. Look at it in the same way. When you look at the Liverpool example, they've just done their recent kit launch. and it's everywhere. They've got celebrities, they've got all of the players, they're all over LinkedIn, it's everywhere. Yet when their NFT drop happened, they did one video and they put a banner like this on their website. And they're expecting people to be engaged and understand. Explain to them, what is an NFT? Why is it good? Why is it interesting? Why should I buy this? Because this is something completely new. They do not understand and they do not care. So you as a club that have amazing media channels that are engaging with your community, because some of these clubs are some of the most powerful community-led organizations. Again, we'll take the example of Liverpool. That is a community club built up on the working class. So people listen to them, so talk to them. The next is utility. Why have I used this picture? Because sports is all about emotion. No matter where we're from, who we are, what we do, we all like sport and it all brings out emotion in us. But utility needs to touch into that emotion. Selling an NFT for $5,000 and then going, oh, here you go, here's a shirt. I'm good, thanks. I'll keep my $5,000, I'll go to the store and I'll just buy the shirt. It's not good enough for a club. With utility, what you need to do is you need to understand why these fans support the club. Again, listen to your fans, talk to your fans, because these are fans that will travel all around the world. They'll spend thousands and thousands of pounds on flights, on hotels, seeing your club wherever they may play. But when you're then going to launch this NFT, touch into that emotion. These are people that will support you whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether you're playing well, you're not playing well. So touch into that emotion. Imagine creating an NFT of the manager, and you create 100 NFTs, 1,000 NFTs for your club, just of that manager. And then if you own that, then the manager, after every game, sends you a personal message. Hi, Tim, I'm sorry you played really badly, we played really well, what have you. All of a sudden, that brings that emotional connection. I'm an Arsenal fan for all my sins. So as growing up, if I had Arsene Wenger, who was the manager of Arsenal, sending me a private message, and then I could show all of my mates at school and all of that, it drives demand. It drives the fear of, I want this. And suddenly that creates an emotional connection with the club and with that. And then if you only have 1,000, then obviously your friends want it, and then you can sell it for 200 and what have you and what have you. We know how it works. But without that utility that is really going to touch on people's emotion, don't bother. Because giving a hat or giving a pen or whatever it may be is just not good enough. The next is the consumer journey. We see too often with these clubs going, yeah, I'm going to take this big check, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to launch my NFTs, it's going to be amazing. But then Dave, let's go back to Dave who's in the pub, he wants to buy the NFT. He now understands you've done all of these things, you've gone through it all. Now he wants to buy it. But now you can only buy it with crypto. So now you've got to somehow convince Dave to put his pint down, go onto Binance, buy some ETH, whatever it may be, send it to your MetaMask wallet, move that. It's not going to happen. You've lost your customer there. Or you're putting it on a third party where there's multiple other sports organizations and you lose that. Again, let's go back to Liverpool. Liverpool did their NFT drop. And when Liverpool did their NFT drop, they did it with Sotheby's. As I said, Liverpool is a working class club. Sotheby's is the most aristocratic English auction house that you could ever come across that sell Patek Philippe watches for 5 million. So how does that consumer journey of a working class club that was brought up on mining and is the heart of Liverpool then goes to Sotheby's? And then you have to sign up to a Sotheby's wallet and all of this. And I went through that customer journey and I bought it. And even for me, as someone in crypto and in sports, it just felt wrong. And I bought it and I've never looked at it once. I've had the reveal, I saw it, didn't like it, and then I've never gone on. So having that customer journey, these clubs will sue the hell out of you if you take their IP, their one little bit of IP. They'll sue the hell out of you if you put the Chelsea logo, like happened to John Terry, on an NFT, any of this. But then they'll just give that IP to a random third party, or a third party that somehow convinced them. It's just not going to work. Keep that IP within. Okay, yes, you need to build it on the blockchain, but keep a website, an NFT page on your website. Then when you go on to whichever white label solution it may be or whoever, brand it up, make it feel like it's an easy customer journey from there. That's how you're going to keep your fans engaged. And the next thing is your team. John, who you've heard mention Bitcoin once, is now running your NFT department. It's not good enough for a football club. They need to understand that this is all about engaging with your fans on a daily basis. These clubs now wouldn't go a day without posting on social media. And this, more than anything, as we know with NFTs, is a living, breathing organism, literally. You have to manage this every single day. You have to speak to your community. What happens when you buy this NFT today? Where's it going to be in 5 years? How's your fans going to feel? Because the worst thing that you can do is sell an NFT and then the club and charge £1,000, whatever it may be. And then the fan is just left holding this. And you've got no utility and what have you. Because these fans are probably going to buy the NFT at some point. Just for the first time because of the love for the club. As I said, they'll spend money on their club going all around the world and what have you. But you've got one shot as an NFT or the club as an NFT, and then you've lost them because that narrative that people are reading, oh, it's a scam, oh, there's nothing to it, what have you. If you don't put these 4 simple processes in place, then your fan is just going to be left. And the biggest problem for clubs at the moment is that they're not looking at their fans like their fans. They're looking at them like their customers. And that's an issue. So these clubs have to remember that your fans are your fans and you're not your customers. So we as Capital Block, we work with these clubs to advise them to build their strategy, to take them from A to B, to bring in the right tech partners and do all of that. But this is the first thing that we talk to them. And if they're not even at a bare minimum, and I stress a bare minimum, looking at these 4 things, before they then even decide, which blockchain, the environmental consequences, this list goes on and on and on and on for a football club. That's the thing. Too many of these clubs at the moment are thinking this is a cash grab, it's a PR stunt, whatever it may be, but ultimately, if they do this wrong, they will make money, but it's just going to be your fans that are going to be affected. And that's me. Thank you very much.